Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Excited to be back here with our friends, Dina Redinger, Sharon Weinstein, our authors, and our amazing hosts today, because we're excited to talk about what's been happening with the big launch last week. And I know I unfortunately didn't get to see you last week, but I was able to, catch up with Sharon. So Dina, Sharon, welcome. How's the week been going? Pretty busy, I'm assuming.
Busy with a capital B.
Yeah. Tell us about Healing Healthcare. What's been going on?
Yeah. Dina, why don't you start us off about the two meetings we've just been to and the excitement that we generated?
Yes, it's pretty amazing. 2 weeks ago, we went to the American Association of Men in Nursing in St. Louis. So there was about 300 people there, mostly men, obviously, and they are so excited about this book and really feel like they can be a force of nature because men can be so part of that. And then we were in Ohio to experience the wellness conference Bernadette Melnick had put on, and that was incredible as well. And we learned so much. So I'm going to let Sharon talk about what we learned.
Okay.
Beautiful.
I'm happy to do so.
Go ahead.
So this was the fourth Wellbeing Conference that is hosted by the Ohio State University. Two of our authors, actually three of our authors, are affiliated with the Ohio State University. So we were thrilled to be there, thrilled to really roll this out. And there were several hundred people at that conference as well.
Wow.
But I think that what shocked us the most, Jill, was the proportion of people who were not nurses, which we expected. Many of them were nurses. I would say a good probably 60% or more.
Okay.
But there were so many people who represented the chaplaincy space, the compassion space, the concept of being there for people.
Yeah.
And in all of my nursing career, when I associate chaplaincy with healthcare, I associate it with the chaplain who makes visits to the patients.
Yeah.
I never, ever thought about it in terms of the chaplain being there for the caregivers. And that for us was a huge aha moment and something that we need to build on. Dina, do you want to expand?
Yeah, I do. It's very interesting, when we talk about healing healthcare. We also, have a book called Think Differently. And what we're trying to get to is what is the root cause of suicides for nurses, because suicide is so high. It's higher for nurses than any other healthcare worker today. So it just really hit us in our heart that we've really got to focus on, how do we think differently? How can we get systems to think differently, using the process of a diagnostic design thinking to get to the root cause? And the root cause of this whole issue that we have is that no one has the time to give self-compassion. They're so busy working on a patient. And we sat at a table talking with a couple of nurse leaders, at a round table at lunch. We said, how do you fit that in? We said, well, we can't. So we've got to change the can't into can. We got to figure it out, because we truly believe that the self-compassion piece, and the reason why there's chaplaincy now, is that nurses need some really significant help in how to give compassion to themselves so that they can deliver compassionate care. So that's what we learned. Very eye-opening. Yes.
And by the way, tell us the name of the book. Tell us you had the launch, the promotion. Just give us a little backstory.
Go ahead, Sharon.
The book is Healing Healthcare, Evidence-Based Strategies to Mend Our Broken System. And as you can see in my background, on Monday night last week, we had the virtual launch. We had lots of people attend. We just posted the recording of that launch. But I think that what was most exciting was it was the evening before the book launched, which was October 22nd.
Yes.
And on the 22nd, we sold well over 1,000 orders. 1,000 orders for this book were fulfilled. So we're truly excited about the momentum, about what's really happening, about everyone is talking about this. Every place we go, people tell us that we're famous. We're not famous. Our posts are getting traction. Our posts are getting lots and lots of traction because the message resonates with people, Jill. It is so important. They understand that we do have a fractured system. And just like if you had a fracture of an arm or a leg, you wouldn't let it sit there and just fester. You would do something about it. Now is the time more than ever before to do something about what's broken.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Dina.
It's just, we're so passionate about it, as you can probably tell, but we really want to, get this word out that, you have to order now. And systems, if you have systems, we're going to ask you to order in a bulk so that we can bundle a program for you to help people think differently. That is the problem. As I shared with you, Jill, I think on the first podcast we did, people really have issues with thinking differently because our subconscious gets in the way of how we approach daily issues, daily difficulties, and everybody deals with it. It's no one's out of the gate when it comes down to thinking differently, because we are who we are, our beautiful selves. We're all broken in some ways, beautifully broken, as Jelly Roll would say. But
I love him.
I know he's amazing. Saw him in concert not too long ago, but it was very evident that the world is broken and we've got to think differently within the healthcare systems. We have the answer. We want to be a part of that. Let us in, let us help you. That is our message.
And when Dina was talking about this bundle package, so about maybe 9 months or so ago, I delivered a program called Overcome the Overwhelm from Overwork. That really is the root cause of what this is all about. Yep. We're bundling that program. So we're offering a package to people, and it was so well received in Ohio that if you get the book, you also get a copy of Think Differently. Think Differently, 18 Strategies to Fix Broken Thinking. If we can fix the way we think, and then use that approach to redesign or reframe what it is we're doing in the healthcare space, we have an opportunity to really have a huge impact and to totally transform what is happening now to something that will sustain us for our future and beyond. That's what is so exciting.
Yeah.
Well, also remind us all the ways we can reach out to you, please. Tell us the website and where we can get the book and all this great stuff.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sharon.
Sure. First of all, the most important website, healbrokenhealthcare.com. Go to the site, look at the information, look at the launch information, look at where we'll be, find out where we'll be. And if you want us in your area, we're there for you. But as Dina said, we need to know that you're in, that you'll have 50 plus people at an event, and we will come. We're going to Worcester, Mass, and to Boston late in November.
When? Tell us what's next.
Well, wait 1 second. And then the next thing beyond that site is Sharon at smwgroup.com or Dina at acecoachingco.com. So to answer your question about where we'll be, Dina, take it away.
Yep. So we are going to this big Magnet conference, the Nursing Magnet Conference down in New Orleans. We should see over 18,000 nurses. So we are super excited to be there. So if you're a nurse, you're going to the Magnet, stop by our booth, and we're at the Purdue booth. And I think you've got
number
the number
1341.
Yeah. Right, exactly. And then we're taking off and we're going to Chicago. We're going to Rush University. So that's big for us.
Yeah, huge.
And then on the 14th of November, we'll be in Virginia, and we have dinner for people that show up. So Sharon, that location, can you give us a little bit more on that location on the 14th?
We're actually calling it DC because it's a couple of metro stops off of the Red Line. So it's metro accessible, the Red Line to the Silver Line, and then a 2-block walk or lots and lots of free parking. The location is actually Vienna, Virginia, which is better known as Tyson's. Everybody knows Tyson's. It's the biggest mall outside of Minnesota with very high end, lots of buildings, lots of things, lots of stuff. So we're excited about that event. It's in a place called SEVA, S-E-V-A, Spaces on the 2nd floor in a conference center. We're thrilled to welcome people to that location. We're asking people if they would like to say a few words. So this morning, for example, the interim chief nursing officer from GW Hospital in Washington, D.C. reached out to me and asked, hey, can she come? And of course the answer is yes. My response to her was, would you like to say a few words about retention, about what's happening in your space, about what makes people stay? Because you and I have talked in the past, Jill, about the concept of no one bothers to ask, why do you stay? And if we ask that very important question and we found out why the people who stick with you are there, then we won't have a recruitment problem. Because we can build on the retention that works and expand our efforts, take it from there. We allow those people who are part of the stay group to have a voice. Everyone wants to be heard. It's so vital to all of our success.
So important, Sharon. Thank you so much. And I'm so excited about that. We actually have a TV program. We're going to be on the place. We've got 2 authors. KY3 here in Springfield, Missouri is really,
Yay.
really big.
Tell us,
So if
tell
you were
us.
to look at or log into
Oh,
ky3.com, I'll have 2 authors with me, Vicki Good and Christy
okay.
Dempsey. And KY3 is going to interview us there. So we're going to be on TV. So we'll blast out there.
Do we
Great.
know when that will be, Dina?
Yeah, that's going
Exciting.
to be November the 19th at 12 noon.
Mm-hmm.
So
And are
that's
you
going to be
shooting
pretty cool.
live?
We are shooting live. We're live. Yeah. So
Okay.
it'll be recorded and it'll be on YouTube and it'll be live.
Impressive. Oh
That's
my
great.
goodness.
Yeah. And then we're going to Boston. We're going to Worcestershire.
Yay.
We're going to 2 systems there. And then we're looking at potentially with the men that we had connected with the Association of Men in Nursing said this needs to
Mm-hmm.
be in New York. So we're going to go in January. We're going to pass the holidays and we're going to have something up there at New York. So it's a very big organization. So as it continues, we get out there, we keep asking people to help us out, put us out there with this huge need. Sharon and I will go anywhere. We'll bring our books anywhere. We're here to help people. Give a
Oh,
reason to never think about suicide, give a reason to go back to compassionate care.
absolutely.
So that's what we want. We want to care for our healthcare
Oh,
systems and our healthcare workers. So that's what we're doing.
oh,
We
you
want
ladies.
nurses to know. We want nurses to know that self-care is not selfish. It was part of the first book that I wrote on balance. It was a
Mm-hmm.
hard lesson for me as a nurse to learn because I was in that mode where you do all things for all people and you do nothing for yourself. It's time to move beyond that. It's past the time to move
Right.
beyond that.
Been there.
And to
Yeah.
really think about not just a bio break, something as simple as having time to run for a bio break.
Yeah.
And therefore it's okay to hydrate because I'll have 15 minutes. But to have that time for yourself to say, this is my chance to detox. I need to move away from this for 15 or 20 minutes at a time, for 30 minutes, and
Mm-hmm.
just be me.
Oh, I love that because you're right. A lot of people do consider self care being selfish, and I'm a proponent that's not true, and people judge
No.
it on that. But you're right. You got to take care of yourself, and as women, as parents, we sometimes slack in that department, and it
we
makes us.
do.
Yeah,
we all do.
Yeah,
Sometimes
we all
even
do that.
Sharon
It's
and I
typical.
do. We talk about it all the time. One of the things that somebody shared with us, this amazing, beautiful room that they created for a nurse to go into to create quietness. It was beautiful. They had a dog in there.
Oh,
I'm
It
just
was
saying,
awesome.
we can be so much more creative and we can be so much more personal about, healthcare and what our healthcare people need to be able
Yeah.
to sustain the change. So,
And a lot of organizations we're seeing, aren't we, Dina, that they're creating respite spaces.
yeah.
But not only are they just creating them because they've created them for years, they're giving nurses the time and the space.
Permission.
They're giving permission. You may use it. You may please take a break.
That's the big deal. It's permission.
And by
It's
the way, just a
compassion.
little bit of your background, because people could be tuning in for the first time today, unaware of your connection, how you started working together, and this mission that you're on to help so many.
Yeah. Well, Sharon and I were so fortunate. We met through Healthcare Business Women's Association during the pandemic, and we were coaching a very large organization on the coast, and they had a really significant problem, and everybody will probably, buy into this because they were part of a merger acquisition, right? You've got 2 sides, 2 companies coming together. We've got 2 leaders. We've got 2 companies, 2 groups that absolutely don't want to kind of work together. So you're kind of caught in the middle. So we actually, help them use diagnostic design thinking to be able to come up with how do we monetize just people not working together and put a number behind that. And what we found was that it was costing them millions of dollars a day because they don't communicate together.
Nope.
And what was the risk? But we didn't do the numbers. We had finance do the numbers for the company. We said, find the finance guy, see what the actual conclusion would be on assumptions based on non-communication, non-collaboration. And then when we went and they presented to the CEO, they really just didn't listen to what they had to say. So large people, left. But Sharon and I, as we were coaching the company, we found such a similarity in how we think and how we feel and how we coach and how we talk about, how can we help people be better? So from there, we ended up just finding out that, oh my gosh, we really have so much in common. I was in healthcare for over 35 years, 10 years of it in a hospital, 35 was in a pharmaceutical, managing companies, big teams, mergers, acquisitions. So I found that my real niche is how do we overcome this non-collaboration and non-communication that a lot of people just don't know how to lead through. You can lead the company with numbers, but when it comes down to the people part, that's where companies suffer the most. And I think Sharon and her background with nursing and all of her books, she's written so many books on how do we take care of the people. And so I'm going to send it over to Sharon to talk about her background because she's got this huge background. I think she knows everybody in the United States with
No,
nursing. So she's just an amazing human being. So I'm very blessed to have her as a business partner.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It's the mutual admiration society. But clearly, Dina is right. Working together through HBA, we did find that we had some commonalities in terms of how we worked and our work style. We also each brought to the table something that the other did not bring. So it allows us to build on one another and really build something that is, in fact, will have a huge impact. It already has started to do so. Yeah. My background was in nursing, of course, in the caregiving side, on the caregiving side, with 35 years in infusion therapy. I'm the author of a book called Principles and Practice of Infusion Therapy, the 4th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th editions. I taught that subject in probably 14 countries and in most states and provinces. And I've spent a lot of time in that space. And so going from there, I went into global affairs for a while and actually fostered relationships between U.S. hospitals and their foreign counterparts. And that led me to a space, if you will, or a network that is pretty vast. It's way beyond borders. It really reaches lots and lots of areas that are both underserved, underdeveloped, and much in need. And what's interesting and what we've both found is, especially working with HBA, because our cohorts were global, in fact, they were from all over the place. It wasn't unusual to have someone from the West Coast, but to have someone else on the team who was from Singapore or from Taiwan or from India or from somewhere. And because of that, what we've recognized is that we all share the same problems. We all share the same issues. Everybody wants the same thing. Everybody, no matter where they are, does have a caregiver shortage. There are workforce shortages all over the world. What we want is for people to join the task force, to join that community of caregivers and to stick with it. Not to be in the Gen Z mode. And we talked to a nurse the other day who said, remember this? She said, I have 2 Gen Z teenagers. Well, one was kind of like 14 and one was 16. And she said they stick with things for a couple of weeks at a time, and then they're on to something else. When they go for a job, they expect that job, or actually she said hers were actually Gen Alpha, I think they were, because the Gen Zs are in the workforce now. And what we find is they expect work-life balance or harmony in work to be a given. They're not looking for it as a benefit. They expect it to be part of the package. And if you don't have a package that supports their personal growth, their personal development, their personal well-being, their space, they're not staying. They're not staying at all.
No.
And so we need to shift that paradigm and move on to something that is bigger and better, more inclusive and sustainable.
Yep. I'm going to add a little bit to that, Sharon. Sure. Because one of the things, Jill, that we found from everyone all over the world is that we all have this, like I go back to this subconscious thinking and how that really does impact their outcomes and how they want that to be different. The only way we can change our thinking is to be in small groups where we feel safe enough to speak up and have people help us change what's the question we're trying to solve, because we're never solving the right problem at the right time. That is critical to thinking differently, but it's also something that came out in all of our nurses. The nurses that really want to stay, they want to have an impact on patient care.
Exactly.
They have answers. They want to be a part of solutions, and nurses have to figure out how to get at the table. And they have got to figure that out. They're so busy taking care of the patients. Sometimes they forget about one, self-care. And then number 2, they have this incredible need to have a voice at the table. So we're going to try to make sure that, we accomplish this in the next, 2 to 3 years, is making sure that nurses get to the table.
Oh my goodness. And you guys,
we have a colleague, Hiam Nadel, who is from Mass General, who often says, and she's a nurse innovator of the highest level, and she says nurses need a voice at the table. If there is not a chair at the table, then you bring a chair. If there's not a table, then you build one. That's the important piece. We have to be able to move beyond where we are now.
Yep.
And have the gumption, if you will, the grit to go and do it.
Yeah, they just need strategies, right? I mean, that's the hard part. You're so overwhelmed. And that's what Sharon and I do, is help people build the strategy so that they can move forward, both for themselves and for their institutions.
Beautiful. Wow. Ladies, you guys are on a roll. We only have 7 minutes left in the show. 6, my goodness. But you guys are really just groundbreaking of what you're doing to help people out there, especially in the healthcare industry, but others as well. And this mission you're on, I mean, what are you working on now? I mean, you're still doing the tours, you're doing the book, but is there another book you're working on too? And what do you want to see happen with the change? I want to know. Yeah.
Sharon's always working on a book. So I'm just saying, excuse me, Sharon works on two a year, I think, if not more. But, I think the future of what we'll do next is really focus on, how can we bring chaplains together? And how can we create a book that is really focused on the spiritual aspect of self-care? But that was just my thought. You, Sharon, I'll let you jump in.
No, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think that we need to collaborate with our colleagues beyond the clinical space to a space that really embraces that mind, body, spirit, and what makes us whole. So Dina is exactly correct. That is where we're going with that. That will be exciting. What we're on a mission for now, and I'm hopeful that all of our viewers can help us, is a top bestseller listing on Amazon. Get that book out there, write a review. There are so many people who have a copy in their hands. Please write an Amazon review about this book. And within a week or so, when we announce the Kindle special, please go online, follow our lead on social media, get a copy of that book, the Kindle version, and bring us to where we need to be with that gold star top seller status in multiple categories. There is no reason why this book can't be in the hands of everyone. It has a message. It has a message for caregivers. It has a message for healthcare administrators. It has a message for leaders in every single capacity. Anyone who has a workforce of more than 2 people, meaning beyond themselves, needs to read this book, especially the part about workforce and well-being and the wisdom that we glean from our experiences that make this a collective mission for everyone.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. My goodness, ladies. You are on a mission. You're on a roll.
We're a little passionate.
Extremely. I love it.
A little.
We are. Yes. And thank you for, allowing us to be on the podcast, Jill, because we really do need people's help to get us out there. And we really do. So please, please, please help us, get us in the systems, link in with us on LinkedIn, look at our websites, and then make sure and let us know how we can, help you. It's always a connection of a connection. That's where we're going.
Exactly.
People know people. That's what's really getting us fueled to go.
Exactly. And if you want us in your system and you want us at your facility, please reach out to us. We'll be there.
Yep.
We just need to make the arrangements, coordinate. We will be there.
Yep.
We like to arrange multiple viewings in a day or multiple opportunities in a day, especially if we have to fly there, but we will be there. We want the message out there.
Yep. Beautiful. Well, remind us how we can contact you again, ladies.
All right. First of all, healbrokenhealthcare.com.
All right.
When you hit the contact button, the message comes directly to us. We will respond. And then beyond that, I am at Sharon, at S like Sharon, M like Mary, W like Weinstein, SMW Group, LLC.com. And you, Dina?
Yeah, so it's Dina, DINA, at ACE, ACE, coaching, COACHINGCO.com. And there's lots of information on Sharon and myself, so you can read a little bit about our background, but also, what we have available. But, please contact us. Let us help you. We are here to help.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And by the way, is this our last show together?
I think so.
I think so.
I think it is.
What a joy it's been. What fun it's been.
Success, your journey. And I won't say goodbye. I'll say till next time. I'm sure we'll meet again. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Jill.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye, everybody.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.